Everyone, from me, Brent Graham of goodforthegame.co.za, and welcome to this Stage 4 betting preview of the Tour de France. A reminder that World Sports Betting have a refund for second place special on. You can check all the terms and conditions out on their website. Right, let's get straight into the action. Stage 3 was, as many had predicted, a bunch sprint. I did expect a sprint finish, but I must say I did expect as well the stage to be a little bit harder than what we saw. It was the early break that went to Nelson Paulus actually getting in the break to secure some King of the Mountain points. But it was clear the two riders went off hoping some other riders would join them. And of course, no one did. It was a long day out in the saddle there. But in the end, this was always then going to be a sprint finish. Stage took a lot longer, I think, than the organisers even expected, finishing pretty close to 6 o'clock South African time. But in the end, we got our bunch a sprint, and it was Jasper Philipsen, who was the ruling favourite at 15-10, who won the stage. Bauhaus, excellent sprint there in second place, with Caleb Ewan showing some good form there in third. Fabio Jakobsen will be one of the favourites for stage 4 as well. He was finished in fourth with Wout van Aert in fifth. Now, wasn't a good day for me on the betting front. My main bet, of course, was Van Aert to win the stage. And he moved up quite smartly. And then this is where we have our, let's call it a question for the day here. He moved up quite smartly on the inside. And Philipsen definitely impeded him a bit as he went towards his victory. And as soon as they got to the end, there was a race review. Now, the question is, should Philipsen have been relegated, which would have meant Bauhaus win the stage, or was he correctly given the stage? Now, my money was on Wout van Aert, but at the end of the day, when I watched that, I think that was just one of those racing incidents. You know, the barrier's position sort of changed. And to me, Philipsen just kept a racing line. He definitely did impede Van Aert, but at the end of the day, I would have felt very hard. I think Philipsen would have felt hard done by to have that stage taken away. It wouldn't have impacted my bet anyway, because Van Aert, the moment he was impeded, he actually stopped riding. I do think they're a little bit unlucky. I think we would have probably got a second place, possibly even a win there, but no arguments at all with the decision. I think Philipsen, a very, very worthy winner of that stage. Just this, share with you this picture that I saw on Twitter. That's Tadej Pagacho in the background there, watching the replay of the race with Philipsen after the race review was announced. And I thought that was absolutely brilliant. I wonder if he's watching to see if Wout van Aert was going to lose his temper again, because he gave him a bit of a hard time about that after the previous stage. Let's have a look at the updated betting. There's nothing much has changed, of course. The general classification pretty much as you were. Pagacho has shortened into 9-10, but that was his price before stage 3, and Vinegar 23-20. The bookies are betting a 2-horse race here. Jai Hindley, he's 14-1, and current yellow jersey Adam Yates at 20-1. Looking at some of the other classifications, we got Pagacho, the King of the Mountains, market leader at 7-2. Ciccone hasn't really featured yet at 5-1. And then Paulus, who, of course, is currently in the jersey at 5-1. But I would be very surprised if he hangs in there. He's using up a lot of energy in this first week, and I don't think he's going to be able to hang in there when the big mountains come, although he is certainly a decent climber. Right, let's have a look then at the team classification. Ineos Grenadiers 27-20 favourites, with Bahrain at 37-20, and you get 13-2 the UAE. That team classification generally gets more interesting when the breaks start sticking, and also when we get to the mountains. Jasper Philipsen, of course, getting that victory, shortened from even money into 4-7 to win the green jersey. My pick, Gamay at 11-1, has drifted out to 16-1. He just doesn't seem to have the speed to live with these guys. He's been beaten in the intermediate sprints. It's good to see him contesting, but at the end of the day, just doesn't quite seem to have the speed to run into the top 3 or 4, even in the bunch sprints. Right, let's move on to stage 4. We're not going to spend too long on this one. If ever there's a nailed-on bunch sprint, it must surely be this stage. We've just got the one Cat 4 climb, and it's only 2 kilometers at 3.5%, coming, it peaks out at 154, so with about 27 kilometers remaining there. So if we have a look at this, it's not pan flat. There are a few rolling hills, but what we'll get again on stage 4 is we're going to get a small break going clear, perhaps 2 or 3 riders again. They're going to be left out to dry as the sprinters teams all put one rider on the front and reel them in, probably with about 30 to 40 kilometers left to go. And we'll get a similar finish then in terms of teams positioning themselves for the final sprint. What is interesting about this final sprint is it finishes on a racetrack. So it's quite windy. There's some big sweeping bends that might make positioning a bit difficult. But at the same time, the road is wide, so hopefully wide enough that we don't get any serious incidents and that on the running. But it's going to be a sort of stage where I think it's going to be quite important to have a decent lead out train, and Philipson has certainly got that. Nothing like Matteo van der Poel to pull you in towards the finish line. Let's have a look at the stage betting then. I'm not going to look past the sprint here, and I can't discourage you from backing Jasper Philipsen at 12 to 10. He is the market leader. He showed he's got the team and he's got the speed. And Jacobsen, he was fourth on today's stage. He's 28 to 10. Certainly, he's the one-man speed-wise. It looks like he can give Philipsen a bit of a run for his money. But let me get to my first bet here. I am going to back Philipsen. 2 units on Philipsen to win at 12 to 10 with World Sports Betting. And I'm stressing World Sports Betting here because this is a sort of stage where that second place promo becomes attractive. You know, if Philipsen does sprint well but just gets beaten by Jacobsen, for example, you can get your money back for that second place there. So a little bit of insurance to our Philipsen bet. I do think he's probably going to be too quick for them in this stage. Looking further down, we've got Groeneweg and 8 to 1, Wout van Aert 9 to 1. He has indicated he will sprint, but I think today's finish on that sort of slight gradient suited him a little bit better. Caleb Ewan, Bauhaus at 14s, Welsford at 16 to 1. That guy just struggles to get into the right position to sprint sometimes, I think. And then Cavendish, who finished top 10 in the stage, he of course is looking for that 35th victory I think he's looking for in the Tour de France, and he is 16 to 1. This is certainly a stage where you've got to think that Cavendish is going to have a chance. Anyway, I am going to get further involved, but I'm actually going to look at the match betting markets. I'm on World Sports Betting site at the moment, and there's a couple of match bets. Now, I'm going to say straight that this is a fairly speculative match bet plays. I'm not even talking about guys who are going to be contending for the stage, just guys who are going to be finishing in the bunch, and I've got to hope that the one guy finishes ahead of the other. But I was quite interested in the betting because Pagacho 5 to 10 over Jonas Vingegaard, who's 27 to 20. Now, on today's stage, and we'll quickly just double check that, but on today's stage, I'm pretty sure, and I'll scan down here, that my luck, I'm going to take forever to find it. I should really have noted where they finished. There we go. Vingegaard finished 43rd today. And you've got to think it's going to be a similar type of finish. And Pagacho finished 58th. Now, of course, there's probably about a second between them on the road. But the point being that Vingegaard finished ahead of Pagacho. So my thinking is, why is he a bigger price than Pagacho? And I'm sticking him into the first leg of a multiple there at 27 to 20. Right, then my second leg is Card onto Sagan. Now, that's another interesting one. Sagan is a shadow of his former self. He's a 7 to 10 favorite here. And if I was going to take one largish bet on the stage, I would take Card there to beat him at even money. Let's go and have a look how they finished in today's stage. Card managed to run 10th there. In fact, I didn't even realize he was riding for Cofidis. I haven't really seen him show up for a while. And Peter Sagan down in 19th. So very surprising to me to be getting even money about Card there. So, I'm going to stick those in a multiple. Let's quickly see, just confirm what that works out to. We've got Vingegaard there, 27 to 20. And here we got Card and the multiple. Let's have a look here. We'll say multiple, yes. Early on, there we go, at 3.7. So that is going to be my 2-unit bet on that stage. As I say, this one should be pretty straightforward. You don't really have to watch the start of the stage. Just make sure you're in position for the last 20 to 30 kilometers. I'll be back on a Tuesday night or early Wednesday morning for stage 5, which promises to be a real cracker. We're into the mountains, nice and early.